What is up? My name is Lloyd, and this is the Middle Card, which are my takes on the world of professional wrestling and all of its ins and outs. So let's go.
Round one. Fight.
These are the mid-medals for AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling Forbidden Door 2022. Now, what are the mid-medals? Well, basically, it's where I break down the pay-per-view in 3 different categories. First up, we have surprise result of the night. That's the one that I didn't see coming, the one that I got wrong. Next, we have performance of the night. Who is the individual that stood out among the rest over the course of the entire show? Number 3, of course, the match of the night, which is self-explanatory. Which pairing put on the best match? So let's get into it. First up, we have surprise result of the night, which is generally based off of something that I got wrong, so I'm not too happy about it. All that being said, the runner-up to this was Zack Sabre Jr. versus his mystery opponent. Now, this was a 2-part prediction, and I did get the first part right. His mystery opponent was former Cesaro, Claudio Castagnoli. But I did get the final result wrong. I thought that Zack Sabre Jr. would get the win over Claudio Castagnoli, because even though it was Claudio's debut, I thought you're still building to the match with Bryan Danielson. So for that reason, I thought that Zack Sabre Jr. would get the win, and that did catch me off guard. All that being said, that brings us to the winner of surprise result of the night, and it was the interim AEW World Championship match, which was Jon Moxley versus Hiroshi Tanahashi. I thought that Hiroshi Tanahashi was going to get the win, and I thought it would have been great for business, because again, the match that you're supposed to have is Tanahashi versus CM Punk. That was the original plan before Punk injured his foot. So what better way to build great relations with New Japan than have them parade around with your title? All that being said, it's only the interim title. It's not the undisputed title. And you can hold it until you could get the match with Tanahashi and Punk. And that would have been a great way to build New Japan as well as AEW, and have the fans from each company hopefully cross over and pay a lot more attention to each product. And of course, make Forbidden Door 2 even bigger next year. But that was just my prediction. I do go off on those sometimes, so can't get them all right? Anyways, moving on. Next up, we have performance of the night. I am not looking forward to this, by the way. I am not looking forward to this. And I want to be very, very clear. I rewatched 5 different matches to determine who had the best performance of the night. I went back and I watched all 5 different matches to determine this. And for the first time ever,
this is only the second video.
Performance of the night, the runner-up and the winner, they were in the same match. Okay, so the runner-up was Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay. My God. Like, he's great. He's fantastic. As a heel, he just knows how to get a reaction from the fans. He just comes across like this
Jerk? Is it jerk?
jerk. Like this absolute jerk. And his facial expressions when communicating to the fans is just so expressive. And when he had Orange Cassidy in the abdominal stretch and he put his hand in his pocket and he came out with the middle finger, that was freaking awesome. But well beyond that, Will Ospreay is one of the best performers in the world. He can do just about anything in that ring. But what really impresses me is that he knows when to use it. He knows when to use it. Because he's a heel, he's just not doing things all the time just for the sake of getting an audience reaction to look at all the amazing things that he can do. No, he's actually putting it together and making the most out of every single moment, which I appreciate. So, runner-up was Will Ospreay. Now, if I said that they were in the same match, then that would mean that the winner for the performance of the night was Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy. I had to go back and I had to watch like 5 different matches. I watched Thunder Rosa versus Toni Storm. I watched the All Atlantic Championship match. I watched the winner take all ROH and IWGP Tag Team Championship match.
You got no words.
I watched Zack Sabre Jr. versus his mystery opponent, which turned out to be Claudio Castagnoli. And then again, I watched Will Ospreay versus Orange Cassidy for the IWGP United States Championship. I watched them all again. So, there were a lot of good matches. On this pay-per-view. But I was trying to think about who stood out. Who was a standout performer in all of these matches? And so then when I'm looking across the board, well, what were the best matches and who stood out? I said it in the predictions. I said Orange Cassidy was going to stand out.
You did say that.
I said we were going to really see what Orange Cassidy can do.
Said that too.
He did it. The guy actually did it. And I'm not an Orange Cassidy fan. There's nothing wrong with him.
Yeah.
I find his stuff amusing sometimes. But I'm not an Orange Cassidy guy. But then if I have to look at it, and I was like,
what you see?
Okay. Among every single performer that worked this pay-per-view, if they were to get a title shot right now,
That's big.
who's the guy that stood out? Who's the person that stood out among all of the matches. It was Orange Cassidy. It was great in part to Will Ospreay, because Will Ospreay was great and helped to elevate Orange Cassidy to this match. But it was Orange Cassidy. He took the ball and he ran with it.
He went yard.
What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? The way that he had the fans going, he had them laughing at points. He had them believing that he was actually going to get the victory. I said there was no chance he was going to get the victory, and he still convinced the crowd that he could win.
He got you too.
Gotta give it to him. I gotta give it to him. Goddamn Orange Cassidy. Moving on. We have the match of the night. What was the best match of the entire pay-per-view? Well, runner-up, we have the inaugural AEW All-Atlantic Championship. The four-way dance between Pac, Malachi Black, Miro, and what turned out to be Clark Connors. This was a really, really good match. And when you factor in that Clark Connors was not supposed to be in it, and it was supposed to be Tomohiro Ishii,
I forgot about him.
I think this made this match even better, to be honest, because things that were planned going into it, the style of match that Ishii likes to have, and the way that he likes to suck people into his type of match,
He draws you in.
I thought we were going to lose that with Clark Connors in the match. But as it turns out,
I never seen this guy.
it made the match just as good. I'm not going to go as far as to say as it was better than what we would have gotten, because there's a lot of interactions I would have liked to see with Ishii, but it was at least just as good.
It was pretty good.
Everybody kind of had their moments in this match. Pac and Malachi Black have their history and their rivalry, so they've been working together so much, so they were going to be fantastic when interacting with each other. Miro, it's just so much personality and just so strong, just throwing people around. That was great. And Clark Connors.
Who?
Clark freaking Connors. When he speared Miro through that table and then proceeded to go for his moment and go for the victory, he had people chanting, "Let's go Clark," which is crazy.
Let's go, Clark.
The majority of people may not even have known who this guy was beforehand.
No clue.
And then at that very end, the finish, the right guy won. So for me, that was the runner-up match of the night. I enjoyed that more than the majority of the pay-per-view. But now, of course, we have the match of the night.
Doesn't get easier.
Well, the performance of the night, the runner-up, and the winner were in the same match. The match of the night was for the IWGP United States Championship. Will Ospreay versus Orange Cassidy. How could I not? How could I not? This match is exactly what I thought it would be. It would be Orange Cassidy using his psychology, his lazy psychology, his hands in the pocket psychology
He doesn't
to
try.
infuriate his opponent, to antagonize his opponent. But when it came time to get serious, that he would throw down and he would get serious. And again, Cassidy did his thing.
He got busy.
He did his thing. It took two to tango. Will Ospreay as a heel is amazing.
He's money.
Absolutely fantastic. And then on top of that, he has the ability to do every single thing that you can imagine in the ring
All of it.
and outside the ring.
There too.
Couple that with Orange Cassidy, who is no slouch in the athletic department.
He does things.
Man, they put on a show. They had everybody going. I think even JR enjoyed the match.
That's a stretch.
And he's not the biggest fan of Orange Cassidy. But you could hear it in the way that he was calling it. Even he was a fan of this match. More so of Will Ospreay. But he was a fan of the match in totality. And again, I knew that there was no chance that Orange Cassidy was going to win this match.
Said that already.
He wasn't going to beat one of the 10 best wrestlers in the world. However, they still had me going.
Let us on.
When he hit Beach Break, when Ospreay went for the Stormbreaker and Cassidy turned it into the Rey Mysterio type Hurricane Rana with the pin.
That was good.
Man, even when Cassidy kicked out of the Hidden Blade, I was like, oh snap, are they going to do it? And the crowd was going nuts. That's a huge part of it too. He probably had the biggest reaction from the crowd. He had the crowd going the most
Had him.
in the entire match. It could have been the winner-take-all tag team match, but that referee screw up, it just took me out of it. It honestly just took me out of it. So when I go from top to bottom, and again, I rewatched what I thought were the 5 best matches on the pay-per-view.
That's why this is great.
Will Ospreay, Orange Cassidy, IWGP United States Championship. It was the match of the night. It was the match of the freaking night. Orange Cassidy. Unfreaking believable. I will see you on the other side. Let's go.